My name is Joseph Gidhara, and I am the businessman entrepreneur, and this is my wife, and this is our story.
My name is Daphne Kawera. I'm into entrepreneurship as well. Wife to Joseph Gidhara and mom to baby Nate.
Oh, yes, your parents. We've been together for 4 years, married for 3, but we have known each other since 2012, so that's 9 years, having known each other and being friends. The story, it starts quite far back. So that 2012, so we are both Christians. I'm a Christian, I'm born again. I was in a Bible school. It's called Petrem School of Ministry. It's still there. I'd just left high school. So I left high school before. So minimal high school 2010. I was in School of Ministry 2011. So it's just 1 year, I was done. So 2012, I decided to be part of the ministry and help, like, be an admin, that kind of thing. And then she was now a student that year of 2012. So I was technically mwalimu wake. But there was nothing. I was very professional, very serious. Kuwafunza, I used to be very strict and stern. So alikuwa tu best yangu through the year. Just the brief interactions. Hatukukuwa na haikukuwa hata mnafaa kurelate na students per se. So lakini urafiki lazima na mtaform. So friendships obviously will form, but nothing deeper than that. So when it all began, I never knew where it would end up. There was nothing particular I'd say ati nilidhania italand ndio huyu, no. My sights were father. Nilikuwa najua mi relationships ni mbele na ngoja. So sikuwa najua at all. So 2012 is when we knew each other and we just became friends. We had a group of friends. We were like 5 of us. We were very close knit. So that group of friends, sasa mkijua na mkiwa wengi, inasaidia kujua every individual pole pole. But still hatukukuwa ati tume decide ati hapa ndo tutalala. Haiko imeland, no. Everyone was just still doing their own thing. So that's anaweza endelea ama anaweza fafanua further from her angle.
From my angle. Actually, even me on my end, it was just like pure friendship. Because in the School of Ministry, they never used to allow you to have relationships in between. Like, you're really supposed to be focused on what what brought you there. So for me, it was just basic friendship. We were a group of friends, like he said. We were 5. So it was a very general form of friendship, that 2012. But there's a time we went to, how do I call it? Mission. Like a mission in Kisumu. And then we were paired. So during that time, there was further interactions. And I was like, okay, not bad, a guy. Not bad. But the problem was, he used to say he's going to go and study abroad. So the fact that unajua umse ataenda out of the country, you're like, please hold on your horses. Like, relax to chill. So true to what he used to say, 2013 he left and he went abroad. Me nikaingia uni and I just continued with my normal life. Right? Yeah. Then
well, so so me, I went to uni 2013 October. I was in the UK, Swansea University. I was doing politics and IR. So the thing is, sasa ukiwa huko, I didn't know anyone. I had no family your side. And contact your home ndio number 1. But again, I'm not very close with my family, your style. I have siblings, but atuongeangi daily ati kwa simu or my parents. So you're very secluded. So outreach yangu, cause huko umeongea Kiingereza daily, unachoka, unataka kuongea na mtu local, unataka kuongea na hiyo unajua mtu anakuelewa Mkenya. So I'd call back home WhatsApp. Hizo siku unajua at least WhatsApp was in. We had 2 smartphones. So we used to talk with her sana. But again, friendship, unaona for mimi hii ni natafuta away kupata tu local interaction. Someone from home. So we talked sana on the phone like 2014 I'll say. We would talk sana. We would call even 6 hours. By the way, this is platonic friendship. Mimi najua tunaongea tu casually, namwambia experiences zangu, vitu nimeona, vitu na notice. Yana niambia venye yako, venye anaendelea. So I still haijanigonga ati ni potential or anything. Again, huko pia tuna interact na watu. Life yangu pia huko inaendelea na naizoea. So 2014 we did a lot of talking, and I feel like that is where for me ilianza kusettle, because I usually have my philosophy on like dating and marriage is marry your best friend. I didn't know it was happening. It's happening naturally na sijui. So she's becoming a good and close friend without me knowing, and without me knowing this is what will lead me to choose even her uko mbele. So because tunaongea bila filter, unajua sisi ni mabesti ya to date, atutry kuimpressiana. I'm telling her maukweli za huko, namwambia vitu na experience. So she's knowing the real me bila hata filter, and she's also telling me if huko ninasumbuana na madem namwambia. So anajua hata venye mu interact na wao. Yeye akisumbuana na machali huko ananiambia. So hata naelewa venye yuko. So ili build pole from then without us knowing.
Actually, that's true.
So 2016, I feel like I'm ready kuingia hii game ya relationships. Na mimi sipendi tu heartbreak. In fact, if anything, God amenikipa. Heartbreak nimekataa. I feel bad for watu wamekuwa heartbroken juu na jipenda sana. That tucheze alafu isi work, so I'm cautious sana. So 2016 I was like, firstly I was almost finishing my undergrad, so I was graduating the next year. And I'm like, okay, na feel niko ready. And then sasa nikajipea assessment. Okay, who would I want to be serious with? What quality? So firstly akue Christian, and I know your track record as a Christian, and secondly akue best friend. So from people I knew in the UK, I had best friends who were ladies but hawakuwa Christians. Or I could have
friends, really.
I had very
friends.
Close friends who were ladies, but
friends.
they were not
That's
born
a good
again.
Word.
I wouldn't say best friends are. Or you would be a Christian but then we're not that close as friends. So sikujui. So ukichapa tu ma ex tu kwa hii list ikaland kwake. Yeye ni friend yangu sana na ameokoka na najua track record. So I was like, okay, sawa, ndaka Kenya. That December was coming.
2016.
I was like, ndaka ni mo approach romantically. So nimeifikiria ilikuwa ngumu, and then I remember after nimefikiria thought we talk with her on the phone, ananiambia na chali roho ikaanguka. I'm like sasa nimeamua ndio sasa anapata msee, and I was like hey sasa kutaendaje? So in my mind I was like by December labda atakuwa ameachana. Hii kitu nimeachia Mungu. Hii kitu ndaachia God. By the time narudi December hii story itakuwa imeisha. Mwaka ikapita, so December I came, tulikuwa tuna travel na my family. So hii kitu haijaisha. In fact before I think we traveled to commit na yeye. Zile story ananiambia huyu jamaa. Najua hata siwezi. Nikashindwa sasa kutaendaje? Bado wako pamoja, niko area. I'm here for a few weeks. What will I do? Na okay, sijui kanda mslice. So I was like, okay, wacha tuende to travel na farm. Tukirudi ndaamua kanda mwambie.
Before now you're the traveling date. Before the 2016 time he traveled. So this guy comes back and he's like being extra nice. You know when someone is extra nice and you're like, akwangi hivi kawaida, you know. So before he goes for the trip in 2016, he comes to my place and we're just talking casually. He's like, what did you want me to bring for it? And he's just being too nice. Too nice. And I'm like, no, so there has to be something here.
Foundations.
Like, you know, when you know someone, you know their usual self, and you know when there's something, kuna kitu tu. So already ilikuwa imeshaanza ku ring a bell in my head. This guy, he has an agenda. Sijui ni nini exactly, but he's too extra nice. And then he comes and brings me a necklace with a love heart written my name. I'm like, do friends do that?
It had your initials.
Yeah, it had my initials. So I'm like, friends don't do that. But then, because now in my head I kind of know what he's trying to do. The funny thing was the relationship I had with that guy wasn't really going so well.
But men think it's going well.
So he was thinking, hey, things are perfect.
Jamaa alikuwa WhatsApp picha yake na huwa haikaji mapicha za wasee kwa WhatsApp.
Don't usually, but that was intentional also, because in my head I'm like, I don't want him to think like there's something wrong going in our relationship. So I will just try and portray things are just going okay, you know, which essentially they weren't. Things weren't going okay. In fact, at that time, we were just nearly at the verge of like breaking up. You know, like we're just, you know, those relationships that are, unaona tu kabisa inaenda tu kuisha anytime soon. But him anafikiria things are just going so well. So in January is when now
So I think nika travel na bado tunaongea. So hata kwa simu nakuwa lugha tu. Kurusha tu lugha tu. So naamua because I'm like I won't waste a trip and not do what I intended to do. even if it looks good, wacha okay, nilisikia usee vibaya cause ndaribu, but unaona at least later on guilty lisha cause hata walikuwa haikuwa sawa.
But the things aren't going very okay.
So I came back from my trip with my farm, and then I think sasa natafuta sasa hii ni January, I'm probably going back in like 2 weeks, so natafuta opportune time tukiwa na yeye. So siku moja tuko church, and I think after church you would hang out and stuff, but watu wakadisperse, tukasema tuende lunch.
Actually, for that day, the friend we're supposed to go, the 3 of us, for lunch.
Oh, yeah.
But she bailed out. She was like, me, I'm going to see someone else. Then we're like, okay, fine.
Mimi nikasema ili Mungu amejibu hizi maombi akatupe time, it's my time to shine. So we basically to bedha litoka mid kuenda kwenye tunaenda kula lunch.
Like she left, she was like, no, me, I'm going somewhere else. So like, okay.
Nikasema sitapata opportunity nyingine because obviously during the week yako job.
Yeah.
So kupatana jioni itakuwa tricky kumwambia Kenya na try. So after lunch tunaenda Garden City.
I think I went to
Garden City, we sit down kukula, tunaongea tu stories. Sasa mimi na build courage sasa ya kuconfess sasa. Na shindote itatokaje kwa hii mdomo yangu cause it feels okay, but then hey, sijui hata react aje. So ni kujiamini tu. So as we're eating, we finish, and then I'm like, I have something to say. And then I just now confess that I liked her na nini. And then sasa ni dead silence. Nikata kuna watu wengine hapo na ngoja kusikia atasema nini. Unajua ile umejaa watu huko lakini nikaa mko tu wawili. So I'm like,
No, actually that table were just the 2 of us.
But the restaurant ilikuwa na wase.
Yeah, the rest of the restaurant of course,
so
had
like,
people.
Hey, wacha nisikie response yake. Anijueka naenda UK heartbroken na sitairudi Kenya tena. Nimefunga mambo ya watu wa Kenya. Or sasa vitu zitaendelea.
So me, when he tells me, he starts saying how he likes me, and I'm like,
by then kwa that ni uongo.
Me, I thought it was a lie.
And
like,
he thought someone has put me up to it.
Yeah,
like,
in fact, I'm like asking him, who is this person who's told you to come and say these things? Because it almost feels like this is so unreal. Like, you like me? No. Like, honestly, I feel like after a very long friendship with someone, you know, there's that place you get to and you're like, okay, I don't think anything will ever go on here. Let's just be friends, you know? So for him to come and tell me he likes me, I was sort of shocked. But again, not too shocked. Because we've been friends for so long. Like, if I looked at my friendships with other guys, I don't think there's a friend I had like him in terms of the things we used to talk about.
What I came to learn after, she would compare these guys and I mean.
Yeah, I used to compare the level of friendship. So I'm like, okay, fine, this guy is nice, but this one we are friends sana, you know. And the fact that you can be open to someone who is your friend, it also works well in marriage, because essentially you're supposed to marry your best friend. You're supposed to marry somebody you can be able to be comfortable around, you know. So when I look at these other guys that are approaching me and this one, I'm like, friendship yake iko way higher than these other people. So I remember telling him, okay, I hear you, but you need to give me some time, because the situation I am in, I'm like in a verge of a breakup with someone else, and I want some time to just be able to like process all this information and give you a decision maybe like in a week or so. At some point I told him yes, before he left, like 2 weeks before you left.
No, it's literally like a week.
Like a week before he left,
before
he went back to school.
And so now challenge number 2, or rather number 1 now, even in a relationship, was long distance.
Yeah.
Because indetermined, siko sure if I finish ndaendelea huko, or if I'll come back, or if I'll continue kusoma. So 2017 was tough, because sasa mko long distance, but the good thing is we know each other. Now long distance is difficult. If you don't know each other, trust kwanza ita lost.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to sacrifice and kind of kuvumilia, I don't think it would be possible, because you have all these opportunities, you'll have all these people still approaching you.
Yeah.
If you're not sure of this person, man, there's no way months and even maybe a year will pass without you having too many issues. But sasa ilikuwa challenge, because distance I can't consistently come back. Na mimi si mse wa simu pia sana. So yeye alikuwa guy tulikuwa tunaongea daily. Na mimi si mse wa daily na hataki kusikia vitu onge daily ama hii haiwezi kwa relationship yako kweli. That's how she usually thought.
Yeah, because for me, I'm so big on communication. So I'm like, by the way, if it's long distance, we should be talking, you know. Otherwise, I mean, for me, that was very important for me, like communication. It was very challenging for him, but he really tried. Me and Gesema, he really tried. He'd call every single day.
So the next step was to propose. So I've gone back, imagine nimekuja December, January nika propose. Nikamwambia kwa demu yangu.
That is January, yeah.
Yes, and I think we went to my parents' place. I think kulikuwa na event or something.
Yeah.
Before I went back and I introduced her as my girlfriend. So they met, mimi hata sifugagi. Home kwetu I'm very liberal nawaambia.
Yeah.
I told them your story kaisha.
Yeah.
So whilst there I was like okay, nda propose. Because again another thing I think because namjua sana si need kulong. Period,
like you don't have to date for too long.
So in January, April ikapanga proposal. Sasa hii ni story ingine refu, which is so intricate and ridiculous. So I planned. Sasa our group of friends nikasema nikiambia msee nisaidie ata snitch. Huyo nikimwambia nisaidie huyu jamaa anaitwa Brian Care na ataochi kitu. Huyu jamaa ningemwambia hiyo kitu ingebaki siri. So I looked for a friend.
Yeah.
No, firstly, I called my parents up. Maybe Feb. I told them, mimi napanga ku propose. Ni kijana wa university. Anyway, they were supportive. They laughed kwanza and then they were like, kama hiyo ndo umeamua ni sawa. And I think hawakuwa very serious. Walikuwa dhania bado ni mzaa zangu. So they were not very keen. But they were like, okay, kama umeamua hivyo, sawa. And they didn't think it would be as fast as it was.
Yeah.
So I panga myself na I think nikabuy rings, nikabahatisha hata size yake ya ring, and then so these are the friend anaitwa Mitch, ndo nikampigia nikamwambia check nataka kupanga proposal na ikue very intricate, tutafute location, cameraman, hizi vitu zote, and alinisaidia sana. We got a photographer anaitwa Rich Alela. So and then we got a location in Ronga called Rolf's Place.
Rolf's Place, yeah, Rolf's Place.
Sasa this is now I'm doing natumana instructions huko to huku Mitch anisaidie tukapanga a date. So I timed when I was I think on holiday, when I was I think after my exams or something.
Yeah.
Easter holiday. April hapo. Na hiyo manze enyewe nilisacrifice guy. So I get rings, tunapanga na Mitch, we organized, I have the rings. It was na lazima nimdanganya asijue hata niko Kenya. So I had to travel. Na unasikia tunaongea kila siku. Sasa ndamdanganyaje na tunaongea daily. So it was very hard. So it had to be like nifike leo I propose kesho. And that's exactly what we did. So nikapanga the day I was traveling, nilipanga hata ndege ya overnight. Ndio usiku nikimwambia leo niko busy, tutaongea kesho, niko kwa airport naenda kupanda ndege hivi. And then by the time tunaongea the next day nishafika home, because usually a direct flight is like 8 hours. So ilikuwa crazy. So nikafika home hivi, and I think nikaambia mabesi zangu, no, I told my friends a week before I came na propose, wakam tu crew yangu tu wakue, unaona. So tukapanga. Now Mitch amewadanganya. This story Richalela had it online somewhere, but I don't think it's there anymore. So Richalela pia na ka storyline kake. So hata hao wamedanganywa na Mitch, wameambiwa tunaenda Rolf's Place ku review hii place. Unajua hii ndio biashara yangu nataka kuwa promote. So come as my friends, kuna meal ni free, mtapigwa mapicha. Wamepewa story ya uongo. Mitch ameka straight face all through, hawajui. Wanajua wenyewe wanaenda story ya Mitch ni kitu ya restaurants ku reviewiwa. Sasa hiyo ni mimi nimepanga. Mitch enyewe asanti kwenye huko. So when we come the next day, literally I came home nikaambia my parents ni kesho, hata waamini. The next day we went to Rolf's Place. Tukafika wa kwanza, hao sasa wanakuja dinner. So wakakam yeye, two of our friends who are ladies, and then Zeus, Care. Sindio?
Yeah.
So hao nakam meal. So what the strategy, Rolf's Place kuingia ni bridge, ni footbridge, hizi za mbao. So ilikuwa ishaiko ma decoration. Our realize, but the thing was wapite waingie wakule and then imaliziwe. So they entered and we could see them, because sisi mimi the guys were ready, to dressed everything, tunangoja tu. So wakapita, wakaenda wakakula, decorations ikamaliziwa, love at keko nini, I love you, and then wakitoka. So before watoke, me and the guys we went to the other side of the bridge. Sasa tunangoja now midst tukingoja Kea akatumwa kwa gari na tuko hiyo side tulia kujificha kwa kichaka juu umse angeona ingekuwa noma. So Kea hides himself, so we hide ourselves. Kea comes, he goes, tunawangoja wakikam. So wakaambia na huyu Richalela kujeni one by one na wewe uanze. Kawe akaanza. Mimi sasa nikiona kwa njia na kam, sasa hata mimi nikatokea side. Fortunately there was like a floodlight, so hakuwa anatuona. So another ni random people tu tunavuka. And then by the time anafika hapo katikati anaona love heart imeandikwa will you marry me, si ndio?
Yeah,
alafu anaambia cameraman take me a picture
hapa
yet ni for her. So by the time pia mimi nafika best yangu anaasha kispika hapo, ngoma inaanza kucheza na propose.
Yeah.
So that was a story how I proposed.
Yeah.
I don't think I even stayed long after that. I was here for like a week.
2 weeks.
2 weeks,
yeah.
Nikarudi, and then we continued with the long distance thing. But whilst I was here, to decide we want to get married in under a year. So if that was April, ideally, to marry 2018 April. So that is what we did. But it was very hard as well. Sasa kupanga kurudi, and then pia nikaendelea na master. So I graduated hiyo mwaka. But then I continued with my master. So bado 2018 essentially I had been in school. So I had to navigate around my timetable. Hizi vitu za rorashio, kuenda kuona wazazi. So hizo zilikuwa very tricky, but we successfully did them by the grace of God.
Yeah.
And then that 2018 we got married here in Kenya.
Yeah.
It's been challenging because we got married, I was still a student in April 2018. So she had to hatukutaka kukaa away na tumekuwa away. So we had to sort a cam UK nikimaliza kusoma as a visitor, but since kuna marriage certificate at least it was possible. But the challenge is sasa to maintain mkiwa wawili na kubalance marriage sasa na shule na job, because it's very tedious to do all these things all together. So that was a number one challenge. Now being the single man that I was, adapting to living with someone else was I think your story umesikia sana hapa. Like for me anyway, I'm so used to my own space, privacy, doing things venye nataka my own time. Kwanza nimeishi huko 5 years or so, so nimekuwa very independent. So to have her there, and now I'm the only one she's looking up, because ana family, it was so yeye alikuwa ataka tukiingia hivi tukue story tuongee nikoe hapo. I'm like nimetoka chuo ama nimetoka job na nataka tu nikae niruke kwa laptop ama kitu kama tu watch kitu ataki hizo story tuongee. So challenge number 1 for me was just adjusting.
Like you said, it's true. The first year was really challenging for us, considering there were so many changes, I'd say, for both of us. There was too many changes. You're not, number one, you're not together. Now you have to live in the same place. There's all these traveling issues, you know. There were a lot of changes going on, but we graciously learned to accommodate each other. Learn, na mimi nika-learn pia, like sometimes people need space kidogo tu, you know. Not all the time we need to be bumper to bumper with someone. Sometimes everyone needs their own, a little space to just reflect, and so I also learned that. But the most interesting thing is, like he said, ndo alichange sana. Akakuwa very accommodative of us. So at sometimes, like when I go somewhere, anasema uko urudi leo, nasema uli mtu alikuwa anapenda space yake anauliza hivyo. Leo uko urudi, namwambia nitarudi tu. So that is how much he has changed. For somebody who really enjoyed their own space, I feel like I'm to accommodate sana. But generally, after the first year, we learned to stay with one another, to be very forgiving, because one of the things that marriage does for you, it's like it just shows you who you really are. Sometimes you think you're a good person until you get married, then realize kumbe mimi naweza kuwa mbaya hivyo, you know. So marriage does change. It makes you see who you are, and it helps you now learn to be a better person to your partner. So we learned to be very accommodating, very forgiving. Like there are so many mistakes you can see in a person, but there's so many times you have to forgive this person for you to be in a stable relationship with them. So I feel that's the number one thing for us. Like, we forgive quickly.
my dear wife
Yeah.
and mother of one son and child. I love you very much. I've enjoyed the time I've spent with you. This few years we've been married and the many that we've been friends.
Yeah.
And I think you're an amazing wife and an amazing mother.
Yeah.
And I don't think ningechagua mtu mwingine.
Really?
Really singechagua mtu mwingine. So thank you for always loving me unconditionally, for encouraging me, for pushing me, because yenyewe ningekuwa very lazy. Ningekuwa very passive, so you have given me the urge to do a lot of things. So I really appreciate that. Thank you for walking this journey with me as a dad. As nime-enjoy sana. So thank you for loving me for me.
No, so sweet. To my dear husband, thank you for loving us, me and Nate. Thank you for taking good care of us. Thank you for being so accommodative and for providing for us. I mean, we've never lacked anything, so we are so grateful. I thank you for being my best friend. I thank you that I can be able to share my life with you, my experiences with you. I enjoy being your friend and your best friend for that matter. Yeah, so I love you so much.
Aww. Thank you.